Welcome to Midnight Sleep Crime Story. I'm going to help you relax tonight. I know many of you want to use this video to fall asleep. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to this channel. Let me know where you're watching from, and what is the time there. Also do well by telling me the kind of story you would like to listen to. Title: American couple's son got missing inside embassy. The night sky stretched endlessly above the quiet town of Willow Creek, Colorado. Stars sparkled like tiny lanterns hanging from heaven, and a gentle breeze whispered through the tall pine trees that surrounded the peaceful neighborhood. Inside a small white house with a blue front door, a woman sat beside a nursery window, staring at the moon. Her name was Emily Carter. Tears rolled softly down her cheeks. Just 3 months earlier, Emily had lost her husband, Michael Carter, in a tragic accident. The loss had shattered her world. Michael had been her best friend, her greatest supporter, and the love of her life. What made the pain even harder was that Michael never got the chance to meet the child they had both dreamed about. Emily placed her hand gently on her stomach. A baby was growing inside her, a little boy. The son Michael had always wanted. The room was silent except for the ticking of a clock. Emily looked up toward the stars. "Michael," she whispered softly, "I promise you something." Her voice trembled. "I'll take care of our son. I'll protect him. I'll love him enough for both of us." The wind tapped lightly against the window. For a brief moment, Emily felt as though Michael had heard her. And somehow, she felt stronger. Months later, on a bright spring morning, a healthy baby boy entered the world. Emily held him in her arms for the first time. His tiny fingers wrapped around hers. His little eyes blinked slowly. Emily smiled through tears. "Hello, Joshua." The baby yawned. She laughed softly. "But I think we'll call you Josh." From that day forward, Josh became the center of Emily's universe. Every morning started with laughter. Every evening ended with stories. Every challenge felt easier because of the little boy who filled their home with joy. By the time Josh turned 5 years old, he had become a curious and energetic child. He asked questions about everything. Why do birds fly? Why does the moon follow the car? Why can't dogs talk? Why do adults drink coffee if it tastes funny? Emily never had enough answers. One Saturday morning, Josh sat at the kitchen table eating pancakes. His face was covered with maple syrup. Emily laughed. "Josh, are you eating breakfast or wearing it?" Josh looked confused. "What do you mean?" Emily pointed at his cheeks. Josh touched his face. His fingers came away sticky. "Oh." He grinned. "Maybe both." Emily couldn't stop laughing. The little boy had a gift for turning ordinary moments into unforgettable memories. After breakfast, Josh ran into the backyard carrying a toy airplane. The plane had once belonged to Michael. Emily had carefully kept it safe. Josh loved pretending he was a pilot. He raced across the grass making loud engine noises. Whoosh! The airplane climbed above imaginary mountains. It crossed invisible oceans. It landed on distant planets. Then Josh looked toward the sky. "Mom?" Emily stepped outside. "Yes?" Josh pointed upward. "Do you think Dad can see me flying?" Emily felt her heart tighten. Questions about Michael always did that. She walked over and knelt beside him. "I think he can." Josh smiled. "Then I'm going to do extra loops." Emily laughed. "I'm sure he'll be impressed." For a moment, mother and son stared at the clouds drifting across the blue sky. Life wasn't perfect, but it was beautiful. Neither of them knew that everything was about to change. One Monday morning, Emily arrived at work. She worked as a humanitarian project coordinator for an international aid organization. Her job involved helping communities recover from disasters and improve access to schools and healthcare. As she entered the office, her manager called her into a meeting. "Emily, we need your help." Emily sat down. "What's happened?" Her manager slid a file across the desk. The cover page contained a single word: Afghanistan. Emily's eyebrows rose. A new assignment? Her manager nodded. Our team is launching a major project. We need someone experienced. Emily opened the file. The project would involve several months overseas. She immediately thought of Josh. How long? Approximately 6 months. Emily leaned back. 6 months was a long time. She had never been away from Josh for that long. Her manager seemed to understand. You don't have to decide today. Emily thanked him and left the office carrying the file. That evening she sat on her porch while Josh chased fireflies in the yard. The setting sun painted the sky with shades of orange and gold. Josh caught a firefly in a small jar. Mom, look. Emily smiled. That's amazing. Josh stared at the glowing insect. It looks like a tiny flashlight. Emily nodded. It does. Josh sat beside her. Mom? Yes? If you ever have to go somewhere far away, can I come with you? Emily laughed. That's a very specific question. Josh shrugged. I was just thinking. Emily looked at him. Then she looked down at the Afghanistan file resting on her lap. A thought formed. Maybe he could come. After weeks of discussion and preparation, arrangements were made. Josh would accompany her. The organization approved family travel. Everything seemed to be falling into place. Soon, passports were prepared. Travel documents were gathered. Suitcases were purchased. And one important appointment remained. The visa application. A visit to the embassy. The day finally arrived. The embassy building stood tall and imposing in downtown Washington, D.C. Security officers monitored the entrance. People moved in and out carrying folders and documents. Emily held Josh's hand tightly. The area was crowded. Very crowded. Stay close, she said. Josh nodded. I will. They joined a line outside the building. Josh looked around with wide eyes. Everything fascinated him. The guards, the flags, the large glass doors, the busy sidewalks. For a child, it felt like entering another world. Emily checked her documents. Passport, application forms, approval letters. Everything was ready. A few feet away, an older man wearing sunglasses watched them carefully. His expression was impossible to read. He appeared to be just another visitor, but he wasn't. Unknown to Emily, powerful interests opposed the project she was preparing to oversee. Someone wanted the mission to fail before it even began, and they had chosen a cruel method. The man adjusted his jacket and quietly stepped closer. Josh noticed a small puppy near the sidewalk. His eyes lit up. The puppy wagged its tail. Josh smiled. The puppy moved farther away. Josh followed. Only a few steps. Just a few. Emily remained focused on her paperwork. 30 seconds passed. Then 60. A sudden feeling struck her. Every parent knows it. That instant alarm. She looked down. The space beside her was empty. Her heart stopped. Josh? No answer. She turned around. The line blurred before her eyes. Josh? Still nothing. Her voice grew louder. Josh? People looked at her. The little boy was gone. Completely gone. A cold wave of fear swept through her body. He wasn't crying. Not yet. The man who had taken him appeared friendly, at least at first. The man had approached him with a smile. Hey buddy, your mom asked me to help you. Josh had hesitated. Emily had taught him not to go with strangers, but the man somehow knew his name. That had confused him. The stranger had also mentioned the embassy, and because children often trust what sounds familiar, Josh had followed. Now he sat quietly on a seat inside the vehicle. The windows were tinted. The doors were locked. The man sat in the driver's seat. His name was Victor Hayes. Victor wasn't working alone. Another man sat beside him. His name was Marcus Reed. Marcus looked uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. He kept glancing at Josh through the rearview mirror. The little boy held his toy airplane tightly. "Where's my mom?" Josh asked. Victor smiled. "Soon." Josh frowned. "You said she was waiting." "She is." "When?" Victor's smile weakened. "Soon." Josh crossed his arms. His mother always said that adults who answer every question with "soon" usually don't know the answer. The thought made him suspicious. He looked around. The van smelled strange, like old coffee and gasoline. Nothing about the situation felt right. Meanwhile, Emily sat inside the embassy security office. Her face was pale. An officer handed her a bottle of water. She couldn't even drink it. Her hands shook too much. Another officer entered carrying a tablet. "We found surveillance footage." Emily immediately stood. "Show me." The officer placed the tablet on a desk. The video began. Emily watched herself standing in line. Then she saw Josh, her precious little boy. The footage showed him noticing something near the sidewalk. Then a man approached. The stranger spoke briefly. Josh followed. The man guided him toward a waiting vehicle. Emily felt the room spin. "Oh my God!" Her voice broke. The officer paused the video. "We're enhancing the image." Emily stared at the frozen frame. The stranger's face was partially visible. The vehicle's license plate appeared blurred, but there was enough evidence to confirm every parent's worst nightmare. Josh had not wandered away. He had been taken. Emily covered her mouth. Tears streamed down her face. For several moments she could not speak. One thought repeated endlessly. "Find Josh. Find Josh. Find Josh." Across town, Josh continued sitting in the van. He was beginning to understand something was wrong. Very wrong. Children often notice danger long before adults realize they have. His stomach felt uneasy. The men whispered to each other. Their voices sounded nervous. Marcus finally turned around. "Kid, are you hungry?" Josh nodded. "A little." Marcus handed him a package of crackers. Josh accepted them. "Thank you." Marcus looked away quickly. Guilt filled his eyes. Josh noticed. His mother often said that people reveal themselves through their eyes. Marcus looked like someone carrying a heavy burden. Not like a bad person. Not like Victor. Victor looked cold. Like ice. Hours passed. The van moved from place to place. Sometimes it parked. Sometimes it drove. Josh remained quiet. Watching. Listening. Remembering everything. His mother had taught him important safety lessons. If you're ever lost, pay attention. Notice landmarks. Notice signs. Notice sounds. Those details can help rescuers find you. So Josh began memorizing things. A gas station with a giant red sign. A bridge crossing a river. A warehouse with a blue roof. A church with tall white towers. He stored each detail carefully in his mind. Back at the embassy, federal agents had become involved. The investigation expanded rapidly. Phone records were examined. Surveillance footage from nearby streets was collected. Traffic cameras were reviewed. Every possible lead mattered. Emily sat with investigators. Exhaustion covered her face, yet she refused to rest. An agent named Sarah Collins placed several photographs on the table. "Do you recognize any of these individuals?" Emily examined them. Then she stopped. One photo caught her attention. The man from the surveillance footage. Sarah nodded. "His name is Victor Hayes." Emily stared. "Who is he?" "Someone with connections to a criminal network operating internationally." Emily felt sick. "Why would anyone take my son?" Sarah hesitated. Then she opened another file. "Emily, we believe this may be connected to your assignment." Emily blinked. "My assignment?" Sarah nodded. "The project in Afghanistan." Emily couldn't understand. "How?" "The project threatens people making large amounts of money through corruption." The room became silent. Sarah continued. Someone may believe that if they pressure you, the mission will fail. Emily's eyes widened. The realization struck like lightning. Josh had been targeted because of her. The thought crushed her heart. No. Her voice cracked. No, no, no. She buried her face in her hands. Every parent fears danger, but discovering that danger arrived because of you creates a different kind of pain. One almost impossible to describe. Sarah placed a hand gently on her shoulder. We're going to find him. Emily lifted her head. Her eyes burned with determination. You don't understand. Sarah listened. Emily took a deep breath. When Joshua was still inside me, his father died. Tears returned. I made a promise. The room remained silent. I promised I'd protect him. Sarah nodded softly. And you still will. Night arrived. Dark clouds gathered over the city. Rain began falling. Street lights reflected across wet pavement. Inside the warehouse district on the edge of town, Victor's van finally stopped. Josh looked outside. The area appeared deserted. Large buildings stood in silence. No families. No playgrounds. No children. Only darkness. Victor opened the rear door. Come on. Josh didn't move. Victor's smile disappeared. I said come on. Marcus sighed. Easy. He's 5. Josh stood carefully. His toy airplane remained in his hand. Victor led him inside an old warehouse. The building felt cold. Dust covered everything. Wooden crates lined the walls. Josh swallowed hard. Fear finally reached him. Real fear. The kind that makes your chest feel tight. The kind that makes the world seem bigger and darker. For the first time since leaving the embassy, tears filled his eyes. I want my mom. Victor looked annoyed. Marcus looked heartbroken. Please, Josh whispered. I want my mom. Marcus turned away. He couldn't bear looking at him. Hours later, while Victor slept in a nearby office, Marcus sat alone guarding Josh. The warehouse remained quiet. Rain tapped gently against the roof. Josh sat on a folding chair. His eyes were red from crying. Marcus finally spoke. You really love your mom, don't you? Josh nodded. She's my best friend. Marcus looked down. The answer hit harder than expected. Josh continued. She says my dad is in heaven. Marcus remained silent. She says he watches over us. The little boy looked at his toy airplane. I think he is helping her find me. Marcus felt something shift inside him. A memory surfaced. His own childhood. His own mother. The sacrifices she had made. The dreams she had for him. Dreams he had destroyed through years of bad choices. He looked at Josh again. Suddenly he no longer saw a hostage. He saw someone's son. Someone's entire world. Meanwhile, across the city, investigators received a breakthrough. Traffic cameras had finally identified Victor's van. Agent Sarah rushed into the command center. We have movement. Several officers gathered around monitors. The vehicle had been spotted entering the warehouse district. Emily stood immediately. That's him. Sarah nodded. It might be. Emily grabbed her jacket. I'm coming. No. Yes. It's dangerous. Emily looked directly at Sarah. My son is in danger. Nobody argued after that, because every parent in the room understood. Some bonds are stronger than fear. Some promises refuse to break. And somewhere in the darkness, a mother was preparing to move heaven and earth to bring her little boy home. If you love this video, kindly like, comment and subscribe to this channel.